Hey everybody, welcome back to Convos.dev. Two friends that like to talk about tech and
Other
and
stuff,
other things and everything in between.
something like that.
And
It's been
today
a
we
while.
wanted, yeah, something like that. It's been a while. But we wanted to talk today a little bit about DevRel. One of our first episodes was on DevRel, but that was actually quite a long time ago, which is cool to think about. And I feel like we've both really grown as DevRel, especially in the age of AI, at tech startups, and just over time in our careers. So we thought we'd like to revisit the topic and kind of share any things that we've learned, and also maybe share tips with each other. And as always, I do the intro and then I hand it off to Chris to go on a spiel that I can then riff off of. So,
Oh man, I was hoping to revive your spiel, but yeah, there's so much I feel like I'm learning, and I am much more interested in what you're going to say than what I'm going to say. But I'm happy to start us. Yeah, I think probably one thing like I've really just keep coming back to recently. Some of this is just kind of where I'm at within recent. So when I joined, I was one of 10 employees. Now we're at 45, I think, like a year and a half later. And but I'm still pretty much the only one doing my role. And so like I've gotten to the point where like I just can't keep up with everything we're shipping and everything we're doing. And so whether that's talking about it or just even knowing what it is. And so I guess my first tip is just like I've had to learn how to like reduce every little bit of friction I can. And AI has helped with a lot of that. So I can give a bunch of different examples, but for instance, like I need to get like an SRT file and a YouTube description for every video we do. And so now I just have a script that basically runs immediately when I drop a new video in my downloads folder that creates an SRT file and creates a description and YouTube timestamps from that and saves them to the downloads directory. So like everything like that, anything that takes time, I just find ways to automate all this stuff, which I've always kind of been that way, but it's had to be kind of on hyperdrive to get everything done. Like we have a new changelog, and so now I have basically a React email template that I start off in Raycast, and I basically just say, get me my latest changelog or get me my latest blog post and create a template and put it in Recent's account. So it actually generates that email for me automatically with all the right things selected. It opens it. I just look at it to make sure it's right and hit send. So like anything that I have to do manually, I don't do now. Or let's say I'm running a changelog on a new item. I don't really like to use AI to write the content, but I don't often have full context on what a thing does or how to use it. And so I'll use the GitHub CLI within Claude and say, go look at everything connected to this project. Make sure you tag everyone as the author for this changelog who's participated in the project heavily, and then give me a bullet point list of all the different details that I need to know about. And so it will give me like an outline of the types of things I need to cover. And then I have a starting point at least, and then I can go research more as I need to like auto posting every time we post through Typefully to like a Slack channel that tells everyone, hey, we just posted this thing. And so like every little detail like that, I'm just constantly saying like, okay, where's the friction? How can I reduce it? Because there's one of me and there's way too many things to do. So that's my first point. I don't know that that's DevRel specific, but I think because like within the DevRel zone, you often are doing so many things all at the same time. I found that like I just have to get really good at like getting rid of every little friction point so I can focus on things that demand more mental like attention.
yeah, I actually do think it's DevRel specific because
Yeah.
when I think about my career in DevRel, aka the current role I'm in and the last role I was in, I was always the only DevRel on the team. And I think you're probably feeling that as well. Did you end up hiring the second?
Not yet.
Not yet? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
We've
I feel like that
tried. Yeah.
opening has been open for a while. Yeah.
Yes. Agreed.
It's just, you set too high of a bar, and now it's just, no one can fill that bar.
No, that is not what's happened.
But it is really relevant because I feel the same way. Like I've always been the only person who has that unique set of skills or has that job description. And so I often feel like I'm also having to take on or could be assigned lots of things at the company, just because of the fact that DevRel can wear a lot of hats. And it's really interesting because I was actually just talking with in kind of AI eval researcher from Apple yesterday, and he was kind of asking for some advice around like what a DevRel role is, and I think it was in the context of him wanting to hire something like that at his team on Apple, although he named the role like for deployed engineer. But it was really funny reading the job description because it was like can be essentially like a PM and help like bring feedback from the customers to the engineering team, and can do the blogs and can do the social and can do the video, but also can like create flywheels and like code things in the product. And like I was basically like, dude, this is like three people's jobs, and I totally get that you're trying to hire this unicorn, but I think it's like you know, I do think a lot of this should be put on like multiple people's shoulders, but often, especially at startup, when you hire your first DevRel, you have to convince the team that they need a DevRel, and so that DevRel has to be exceptional and do and prove that that role can do so many things. And I've done the same thing as you, which is like a bunch of these automations. My favorite one that like I was surprised works so well with AI is we have obviously like product updates once every 2 weeks, and we do some sort of email and video, and we send it out to all the like Slack sales accounts and things like that. And a lot of the time it's just like a list of features, which would take me a good amount of time if I were to play around and try to figure out which one is what manually, because usually all I get is just a bullet point list of the features and absolutely no other explanation of what they are in the product.
I love it.
And so I'll have AI kind of scrub Slack and scrub any recent docs changes and scrub any recent PRs and get context on it, and then basically help write a script for me, which is like just very basic script, and then help also write an instruction sheet of what I need to do in the product to show off that change, which is super helpful. It has actually been surprisingly accurate and saves me so much time. So I have similar to you, like that YouTube description SRT thing, like I have that one, and it's very helpful and saves me a lot of time, and so yeah, I totally agree with you on like all of the sentiments.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of roles that do need to do that, but it certainly seems like DevRel like usually covers a pretty wide swath of like what you could be doing. You know, everything from like I'm designing stuff in Figma to recording and editing videos to giving talks to doing live streams to jumping into product feedback, putting PRs in for product, you know, like it can kind of be everything. And so I very much feel like a generalist. I'm not, you know, there's areas I feel more competent in than others, but I'm just trying to be way more cognizant of when I'm like doing the same thing over and over again. And AI like frees up a lot of the automation stuff, where in the past it was like, is this worth it to automate it? Like it's going to take me so many hours to get something that's workable. Then it's like, how much will that save me in the long run? Whereas now with AI, I feel like there's a lot of those things that I neglected in the past to set up automations for, because they were either more variable or whatever, that now AI kind of unlocks that. And unlike some things that you use AI for, I don't really care what the code looks like. It just needs to output the right thing. And like a lot of times that's the kind of thing that it can be hard to automate yourself, just using scripts and stuff like that.
Do you find yourself saying no to more and more things, like getting a sense of what you don't like to do in DevRel?
Yeah, I think it's hard because when I say no, it just means it doesn't happen. Like it's not like somebody else is going to pick that up. And so I think what I'm trying to get better at is communicating what I'm saying no to, because I'm saying no to stuff all the time, but I don't always communicate that. Like, hey, here's what I'm not doing today. Like I'm not going to do it this week. And so because of that, there's stuff that is kind of falling through the cracks, but I just really haven't, like I've decided that's not a priority, but I need to be better at communicating that kind of higher up and say like, hey, this isn't a priority for me, and here's why, and I think we should do this instead. And when we get to that, we'll get to it. So I think that's the thing I've been trying to get better at, which was gonna kind of be my second tip anyhow, which was like just being very clear about what you're saying yes to and no to, both internally to yourself and also within the team, the broader team. Because like there's been some stuff recently with like my boss where I was like, hey, he's like, hey, I need you to do this. I'm like, that's fine, but I don't think that's as high a priority as this.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to focus on this unless you tell me otherwise. And he's like, you're right, focus on that. Or another time he was like, actually, no, this is a higher priority.
Yeah.
So, but I just haven't been as vocal. And I think because there's 25 things like that every day, yes and no to, like, I can't always be telling him everything I'm thinking and doing. So I have to kind of trust my gut on a lot of that, but just trying to find a way to like at least weekly say like, here's the broad swath of what we're doing and here's what I'm not doing this week. And if you think those are a higher priority, let me know. So I think it's been more about like communicating that. I don't know if I'm any better at saying no. It's not really one of my skill sets. So
I have the same thing. And like I have a small framework that I use when I think about what I say yes and no to. And basically I ask myself two questions. I ask myself, one, similar to what you're saying, is this high priority for the team and company? Like, is this going to help whatever numbers that we're trying to reach? But two, I also ask myself, is this interesting to me? And like, would this be an interesting skill if I were to leave my current company and like say that I now have this skill or have done this? So like one example is we have done this campaign where we wanted to like, you know, those like short form videos or TikTok videos where it's like look to the right. It's like, have you heard of this thing? Look to the left, like, you know, that type of thing. And there's like jump cuts and stuff. And then like you're walking towards the camera. And then there's all this like, you know, like edutainment stuff that Lewis used to do. So it's not my favorite, right? But one of the guys on our team was like, oh, we really want to do this and like try doing paid ads behind this and everything. And so they're like, Jess, can you film all this stuff? And I was like, honestly, like, I don't like this stuff. Like, I would not put this stuff on my own personal channel. Like, I don't like this type of thing because it's more marketing and less focused on like educational stuff and, you know. But I was like, you know what? Like, why not? I've never tried like these jump cuts before. Like, maybe I'll just do it once. And so it's one of those things where it's like, no, absolutely not if it was just something that wouldn't teach me anything. But I was like, hey, I feel like I would learn something from this. Let's try it. And so I do always like bias towards the second, which is what actually interests me outside of this company and in my career as a whole, because at the end of the day, like my skill set, like outside of the company's priorities, is more important because someday I'm not going to be part of this company anymore. And like also I just do my best work when I'm like personally interested in what I'm doing. So yeah.
I think that's something I need to get a lot better about. I don't know if you know who Bash Bunny is.
I
like
love
she's
her.
on Twitch and YouTube and stuff. Yeah. So I was she like stopped her job and is basically full time, like just kind of going back to learning. And she gave this big talk on like why she was doing it.
She's not part of Charm anymore.
No,
she was like the face.
So
she not the founder of it, or
no, she's just basically. I think she was like DevRel basically
I always just
for
thought
them.
she created the product because that's all
Actually,
I saw. Okay,
I know,
that's
right?
awesome.
Yeah, she's so gifted and like such a good communicator, and seems to like have such a like a tight knit community in a really helpful way. So I've always enjoyed watching her and watched her more as of late. But she was saying how like she got to this point where she realized like the company's kind of objectives were just not hers, and like she was not growing anymore and not learning anymore, and like she just kind of had to say like, I'm gonna stop and just focus on what I want to learn. And thankfully I'm in a position where I can do that, and you know, that kind of thing. So anyhow, all that to say, like hearing you say that, hearing her say that the other day, I'm like, I think I need to get a lot better about that. I think some of it is like a lot of my motivation in life is just like, I want to be helpful to people. Yeah. And so I often just bypass whether or not I care about it. And just like, well, if they need it, then I'm going to do it. You know, like it doesn't even register to me that I should have a step of evaluation of like, do I like this? Do I enjoy it? Like, and I don't really think about that as I go. And so I think that can end up being a real trap where you just kind of get stuck in other people's things. And so I think I need to get better about that. So I wrote that down. So that was helpful for me.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I mean, I always feel like you are doing what you like to do, but I think
I like to do everything. That's the issue.
it's so interesting to me because I think for the past year or so, like as I interact with you, it both feels like both of us are like go go go. How can we absolutely optimize every part of our lives so we can stuff as
Yeah.
much learning and as much passion projects and as much stuff into it. And after taking some time off and coming back into it, it just feels like it's awesome to feel that way, but it's so stressful to feel that way for so long, which is obviously what burnout is. But there's
Yeah.
just times where I'm like, I don't need to optimize everything. Like sometimes I'm just sitting there being like, God, I like have so many automations going on, like it hurts my brain. And it's weird to like slow down, and has nothing to do with DevRel. It's I don't know.
This is just adult
It's
talk,
just
you know,
adult
it's like
talk.
we're adulting right now in front of you.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sure we'll get back into it. I feel like that's, you know, all part of being in startup world, in tech world, in AI world. But sometimes it is interesting to like get out of it and then come back and just come back with that perspective, you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
Yeah, I just took a week off and I didn't do anything the whole time for work. But I did, like, I read a book. I read a full book all the way through, which I haven't done in forever in a week. And like I took naps and stuff like that. And I think like and I came back and basically just brain dumped
Yay.
into my journal for like 25 minutes. And then I passed it to Claude and basically said, analyze this. And it said something like, you seem to feel like recent is eaten up every moment of your waking life.
It does seem
and,
like you work a
taking
lot.
away all your stuff. Yeah, but it's not really recent's fault. It's my fault. Like nobody's asking me to do that.
Yeah.
I just know there's stuff to be done. And so anyhow, like that was really insightful for me. I'm like, okay, I just need to be better at telling myself no. Like I've done work before, like on a Saturday, my boss will text me and say like, you should be off, take off, like
Oh,
don't be around.
yeah.
So it's not like I'm having that pressure from up top. It's just, I feel it because I know everything that could be done.
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't really matter how much we're shipping. If nobody's there to talk about it, it won't be found.
Yeah.
It won't be really celebrated. People won't know about it. So it's like, I feel like this burden of like the team on me, which isn't totally fair. Like everyone else can talk about it too. And if it's that important, we'll get the word out, and it may take a little longer, but it'll still get out and people will use it. And the product's intuitive enough that like people will find stuff. And, you know, so I just think, I kind of can put an undue pressure on myself. So I came back thinking a lot of the same types of things of just like, you know what, like it was good to step away and good to take a break. Now, did I code like 20 hours early mornings because I had a side project? Yes.
Yeah.
But that was fun for the first time, you know, coding instead of just, you know, doing stuff for work. So I really agree with that. And yeah, that's helpful.
Can I ask why you haven't hired anybody yet at Resend? Is just nobody is a good candidate?
I think some of it was our actual process. We started saying we wanted a technical writer. And that was because we were trying to think of ways to free me up to focus on the things I'm better at. But then we got such like specialized people. So that was the first 2/3 of our hiring journey, was looking for this role. And we finally realized like, these are just too specialized. Like we need somebody with a broader skill set. And that wasn't their fault. It was really our fault in the way we set up the whole job. So then we went to a broader skill set. We actually got down to a final candidate and it didn't work out from their end. And so we thought we were done, and now we're kind of restarting.
Yeah.
So now we're restarting with that broader thing. So it's not like we've talked to a bunch of really amazing people. We thought we had somebody. We actually thought we had a couple of people, and for one reason or another, we decided to go with one, and then it didn't work out. But we'd already told the other people no, and it's probably still wasn't best for them. So we're just kind of restarting and like really defining now what we actually want. Which it took going through that process to realize that we were trying to go too highly specialized for the size we are right now, which is a painful lesson, not only for me, but also for all the people we talk to. Like people spend a ton of time with us, and that's, I think, just part of the learning process.
Yeah. Well, it's good. I'm glad. Hopefully people who are listening to this can learn from that. But yeah, hiring is really hard, honestly. And it's good that you learned that lesson. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep things moving. I'm going to get things into tool, show and tell.
Okay.
So I'll go first. There's this kind of like Claude plugin, but it works with like other tools like Codex and Cursor and things like that. But it's called GSD, which stands for Get Shit Done. Have you heard of it?
Oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was talking with somebody at a conference like I don't know, like a month ago, and he was telling me about this. But essentially, the context is it's kind of like a meta prompting tool. Most people use it for Claude, but essentially, like it allows you to kind of specify a project and break down that project into really specific subtasks that would all get launched in like a fresh context window. And so it basically fixes the problem of context bloat because, of course, if you do the project in one context window, it'll start to get worse and worse as the context window gets bloated. So this kind of avoids context bloat, and it also maintains some sort of like state.md file across all these different sub agents that you're launching, so that all of them have like that context that's persisted. And yeah, that's generally the idea of this tool, and found it kind of pretty useful for like vibe coding certain things. So yeah, it's open source. If you want to check it out, I'll put the link in the YouTube description. But I thought that was a cool tool.
Yeah, I think I played with that and like the Ralph. We can
Yeah.
link it together, like right? Isn't that? Don't people kind of combine those, or am I misremembering?
I think so. I haven't read blogs specifically for that, but it would make sense to have kind of a self-checking loop with a tool that can launch a bunch of different subagents. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, my tool is paper.design. I've been playing around with this recently. And it's basically like, what if Figma just built an HTML and CSS? And so they actually use the browser like rendering engine to build stuff out, which is super cool. And then it's really easy to convert to code, especially like they have an MCP server and stuff like that. So it's still fairly early, it seems like, in their journey, but it's quite robust already what it can do. And especially like as a developer, like to use a design tool that it acts and thinks and looks like a design tool, but the concepts are CSS first. Like it's got like flex wrap, like that kind of concept immediately out of the box. So anyhow, it seems super cool. Paper.design.
Have you used it for any design projects or?
Just personal stuff that I've been playing around with.
Nice.
But it seems, it's been super interesting, like conceptually as a developer to kind of get to design with a tool that thinks like CSS.
Oh, that's pretty cool. All right. Would you like to show off your show and tell?
Sure. I'll stick with the design theme. This is just a dumb one, but I went to a conference and Figma was passing out these water bottles, and they're these like Owala water bottles, and I've long seen people have them, and I'm like, I don't know that I really like every water bottle is the same. But these are actually pretty nice. I'm not going to lie. So it's my Figma Owala water bottle.
What's so nice about it? Is it just...
I think a lot of it is just like they think through a lot of tiny details. Like it's got this internal straw mechanism. So like you can drink like this. It feels like I'm drinking out of a bottle or something. But or you can tip it back. It's easy to clean. And like the build quality is just super nice. So
It does look really sleek.
Yeah.
Yeah. Almost looks like a grenade. I'm going to send you this link.
Okay.
Brain Trust had a conference, sponsored a conference with Temporal. And our marketing team was like, we don't want to have any sort of like actual Brain Trust like marketing speak at our booth. We're just going to have this fun typing game.
Okay.
And so they asked me to vibe code this like typing competition. And it's like empty now because the leaderboard is gone because like it's been a while. But basically we had this huge keyboard, like huge keyboard at the booth, and people could like do typing competitions on it and like compete head to head. And this was like right before I had to take my week off. So I didn't actually get to, I think I was going to go, and I was like, I can't. But it was apparently a huge success, and it was really awesome. And like,
That's super cool.
Yeah, and I type really fast. Like, actually, if you ever want to compete,
Really?
I'm really fast typer. Like, very
Okay.
fast typer.
How many words a minute? What are we talking?
Like 120.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah, I'm probably not going to beat you.
I think 120 if I'm like
I probably
high
like
score.
100 on a good day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm probably more like 100, so I'm a solid fifth behind you. At least.
Yeah, but this was fun and completely vibe coded. Thanks, Claude.
Love it.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to our Convos.dev episode. And as always, if you please leave feedback on our website. Please leave feedback on our
Yes.
website. If you watch this, just
If
go
you
onto
want
our
us to
website.
keep doing this.
And yes, honestly, I think we are very busy people, and we are reconsidering whether this is something that we want to spend time on. But we will. Just leave a comment on our website and tell us that you love us, and that will revive our spirit.
That's right. We need some pick-me-ups.
Pick me up. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Chris. See ya.